Okay, you gotta bear with me. Can you hear me in the back?
Yeah.
Yes, nodding, yes, in the back. Thank you, Cindy. Well, I want to start by saying there's a lot of energy in this room, and a lot more than that we often at annual meetings are a little more subdued. So I feel the energy, and it's got me kind of pumped. So I'm going to roll, so roll with me, I'll roll with you. I would like to start by, first of all, thanking all of you for coming and welcoming you. I have to offer my own welcome to all of you for being here at our annual meeting. And I'd like to offer a special welcome to our honored guests and their friends and family who can join us, our award recipients, who thankfully tie directly into the theme of my remarks tonight. I would like to spend just a few minutes, and Steve Jeremiah set the bar very high. I have to be quick because we have food, oysters, and other things outside, and I promise I will be quick. I'd like to spend just a couple of minutes talking about individual action and collective impact. So to begin, I'd like to share with you a video that was produced by Rhode Island Public Television about a guy named Richard Benjamin. And some of you may know Richard. He is a great example of somebody who, through his professional work and his personal passion for Narragansett Bay, has literally inspired thousands of people to care, to get involved and care about protecting and cleaning up Narragansett Bay. So, Maureen.
Lights.
So this looks like a pretty good possibility.
Making pictures is something that I think is actually genetic. My first memory of making pictures was, I was 5 years old up at my grandmother's for the summer. It was a rainy day and I was sitting at the kitchen table with a piece of paper and a pencil, and I was trying to draw the tree outside in the front yard. Then in high school, I started noticing photographs in the Providence Journal. And during that time, it was about 1955, 56, they used to have a full page of pictures on the back page of the front section every day, and I started looking forward to that. When I worked at the Journal, we covered the yacht races, the America's Cup, and people fishing along the bay, and so forth. I became interested in the bay as pretty much as a subject matter, but rather than as someone who was interested in the environment or something like that. So much of life in Rhode Island involves around the bay, even if you don't own a boat or you don't go to the beach. Just driving any place, practically, you're going to see water that's related to the bay. Even if you live in one socket, that water finds its way into the bay. It's part of the whole ecosystem. My son used to work down in Newark. I got an email from one of his friends one day that coming to work every day, he saw this beautiful sea smoke on the bay. And I thought maybe I might be interested. Well, the very next morning I got up and went down to Jamestown. And I found the spot where I had actually photographed before, where I could see the Newport Bridge. I was north of the bridge, and the sun was coming up on the south of the bridge. The light was just beautiful. I mean, it was like 4 degrees below zero. When I came back to Providence, I saw the temperature. But that's one of my favorite pictures. That was really weather dependent, and I got a beautiful picture. Things worked out just whatever, but it doesn't always happen. I tell people when they ask me why I'm still taking pictures at my age, I tell them I'm going to be taking pictures so I either go blind or I die. And actually, I prefer the latter, rather than having a life without being able to do up to pictures.
So let me share with you another story about individual action and collective impact, the collective good. And this is a story about a boy and a starfish. And I think for those of you who have heard this story before, I wanted to describe it to you tonight because I think today, in today's political climate, this has special resonance and special meaning. And the story goes like this. A storm comes through one summer night and a lot of big waves, and the storm washes up thousands and thousands of starfish on the beach. And morning comes and the old man is walking along the beach. He's doing his morning stroll along the beach and he sees these thousands and thousands of starfish stranded, and they will die in the hot summer sun. And up ahead he sees a small boy who's reaching down one by one and picking up the starfish and tossing it back one by one into the bay, into the water. And the old man is puzzled, and he comes up to the young boy, and says, "Son, there are thousands of starfish here. What are you doing?" And the kid looks at me like, I imagine my own kids, they kind of give you that look like, duh. He says to the old man, I'm saving the starfish. Like, of course. And the man says, there are thousands here. What difference can you make? And of course, he reaches down, the young boy reaches down, picks up another starfish, tosses it back to safety in the ocean, and says, I made a difference to that one. And wouldn't you know it, there are other people strolling along the beach, and they see the example of the boy. And they follow his example, and they too, one by one, reach down, pick up the starfish, toss it back into the sea to safety. And before the sun can hit its zenith at noon, the starfish have been saved. So there's a moral there, and I think it's pretty clear, that the power of the individual is immense, and we can achieve through our own individual actions, collectively we can achieve tremendous good. And in fact, that is the story of Save the Bay. If you think back, or if you know about this organization, how we were started, it was started by a small group of people who took action, who decided we have got to take a stand. And they took action, and they started a movement. And that movement became Save the Bay. And collectively, they were followed by many other individuals. And collectively, over 47 years, this is 47 years ago, Save the Bay and many, many others, not just Save the Bay, many other partners, people in government, people at other nonprofits, people in the community, achieved incredible results because of the initiative that was shown by this small group. And think about it, here we are enjoying Narragansett Bay. We stopped industrial pollution. We cleaned up polluted wastewater. We prevented environmentally damaging development projects from being constructed in Narragansett Bay. We inspired thousands and thousands of future Bay stewards, and we held government accountable. So, just in the last year, let me give you two other more recent examples. About a year ago, some of you may remember this, there was it became evident, it sort of leaked out that Proudport, which operates the public port of Providence, had a plan to fill 31 acres of Narragansett Bay in the Providence River, just up the river from us here. And 31 acres is a big chunk of the Providence River. And we, Save the Bay, as you, I think, appreciate, we have political clout. And the only reason we have political clout, the only reason is because of all of you. We have clout because we represent people who care, and the people who care help us do what we do. And so we heard about this, we took action, and we stopped it. Another example, last fall, we operate in Narragansett Bay each year the International Coastal Cleanup in partnership with the Ocean Conservancy. And we involve in recruit and engage. Last year, July will correct me, I know my numbers because I reviewed them earlier today. Not just roughly 2,000, not roughly 2,200, but 2,205 individuals showed up and collected just under 15,000 pounds of trash, that's 7 tons of trash and marine debris, and cleaned up 65 miles of Narragansett Bay coastline, of Rhode Island coastline, in 1 weekend. That is what I call individual action, collective action. And now I have to echo Greg. We live in especially challenging times. There is no guarantee in life that the progress we made lives on forever. We face very significant threats today to Narragansett Bay. Climate change, intense development pressure, both along the coastline and in the watershed that drains into Narragansett Bay. The problem of polluted runoff. We are the most urbanized estuary on the East Coast. We have 2 million people, and polluted runoff is a serious threat. At a political level, at the state government level, it is very difficult to find political support for investments in environmental enforcement and environmental protection. The political will just isn't there. And unfortunately, we have an administration in Washington that is, as we speak, rolling back federal environmental regulations and has proposed defunding the US EPA, NOAA, and other federal environmental agencies and environmental programs. That is a big deal, and it affects us. And so you might ask, oh my God, Charlie, that's a pretty intimidating list. There are some really serious challenges out there. And so it begs the question, what can you do? What can we do? Well, guess what? There are a lot of things you can do. And in fact, together we can achieve incredible things. So first and foremost, what I like to say is just be a champion. You're here, you love the Bay. We're all here, we all love the Bay. Be a champion, speak out, tell your friends, tell your family. This is important. It's important to care, and it's important to do what little things you can do. And one of the little things you can do is sitting under your rung. And that is called Bay-friendly living. So this has got some examples of how you can live in your own life in a Bay-friendly way. And if we all do it together, collectively, you might say, what difference can I make? Well, collectively, we can all make a big difference. A third thing is you can volunteer. I mentioned the beach cleanup. Call July. She has got opportunities. A fourth thing, now you may be choosy on this one, you can swim in the Save the Bay annual swim, which is coming up in late July. Join me, I will be there. However, you don't actually have to do the swim. Don't tell everyone, but it's just as good if you find a friend who is swimming and just support the cause through the swim. Urge your town council to support investments in, as Greg mentioned, green infrastructure and clean water investments. And I think most timely for tonight's meeting, you'll find in your seat a little card, okay? And we are asking everyone, our entire membership, and those who care about the environment, to call or email state leadership and just tell them that you care. You don't have to say anything more than that. Tell them that you care about Narragansett Bay, that you care about the uplands, that you care about our rivers and streams and ponds, that you care about the environment, and you want the General Assembly, which in the next 2 weeks will pass a budget, to invest in environmental protection and in environmental investments. That's all you have to do. And believe me, calls and emails from individuals goes a lot further even than a call from us, because we're expected to make that call, but hearing from you directly has a real impact. So there are a lot of things we can do, and I guess my basic message is this is not time to wring our hands or wash our hands. This is time to stand up and be counted and take a stand and take action. And you don't have to change the world individually, but collectively we will if everybody steps up to the plate. You know, it's kind of amazing. Here we are 47 years after starting, after Save the Bay was founded, and we are forced to be reckoned with. And the only reason I can say that is because of all of you. It has nothing to do with the staff. We work hard, and we work hard on your behalf, but without your support and engagement, we can't do what we do. And I'd like to finish with another video. And as you watch, this is a video about, again, thanks to Rhode Island Public Television, about a woman who, like our honorees, decided to take action, and she did her small part to help the cause. And every small part, when added together, makes a real difference. So I ask you, as you hear her story, think again about what you can do in your own life. And let me just conclude by saying, we need your help, but more importantly, the Bay needs your help now more than ever.
Narragansett Bay is a huge part of my life. We live on this little island and we get to interact with the bay and eat food from the bay and play in it and swim in it. I am a naval architect and I design and engineer boats. Save the Bay is a very important organization for me. Their biggest fundraiser every year is the Save the Bay Swim. It's a 1.7-mile swim. We leave from Newport at the Naval War College, which is just at the bottom of the Newport Bridge, and we swim across to Jamestown. From what I understand, some of the fastest swimmers do it in about 40 minutes, the slower swimmers do it in about an hour and a half. Since it's my first time, my brother and I are swimming in the fifth heat, which is the last heat, which means we need a kayaker with us. The distance doesn't scare me. All the other variables is what I'm not sure what to expect. Like the current, I heard, was very bad last year. Frankly, having my husband in a kayak right there with, you know, a floaty and whatnot in case anything peace of mind. And I think that, as a first timer, makes a big difference for me. I think I'd be a lot more nervous about it if I was planning on just going out there on my own without Brendan and my brother and my dad out there with me. That was awesome. It felt really good. The first half was kind of hard, and then you get in a groove, and the second half I was like, okay, I can see where I'm going. And it was really good. My mom was sick for a while, and in October she was diagnosed with ALS. And although she can't kayak and she can't swim with us, she's excited to be at the finish and watch us. You know, it's a nice, positive activity for all of us to do together and to get our, you know, our mind off of all the other stuff going on this year with a lot of changes for our family. My daughter, who is 5, she's been asking me about the race, and she's been asking how old she needs to be before she can do it with me. I think she needs to be 16, but maybe in 10 years we can do a mother-daughter swim together. Who knows? That I would love that, actually. That would be fantastic.